So, ladies and gentlemen, my name is Koji Nakao. Thank you very much for your kind introduction. This is a great pleasure for me to have an opportunity to make a keynote for today. My title of the keynote is Proactive Cybersecurity Response. Response is a countermeasure by utilizing passive monitoring technology. And I have basically three hats in Japan. And the one is NICT, which is the National Institute of Communication Technology, and the research entity under the Ministry of Interference and Communication. And the another hat is the guest professor of Yokohama National University as a researcher. And last one is I newly assigned as a job inside the Cabinet Secretary of the Japanese government as a cybersecurity advisor. So today, my presentation consists of three major parts. One is introducing what is passive monitoring, including darknet monitoring or honeypot monitoring. And then second issue is a focus on IoT devices or systems, including vulnerability, and most of the many IoT devices are already infected by malware. Last one is related to the DDoS mitigation based on utilizing the honeypot or darknet monitoring, maybe in connection with how to achieve a proactive security response. So, what is passive monitoring? Maybe you have ever heard of passive monitoring. There are two types of passive monitoring. One is darknet monitoring. I will explain darknet monitoring later in depth. And another one is honeypot monitoring, and plus sandbox analysis. Because honeypot is try to behave some of the vulnerable hosts and to obtain captured malware. Malware is, as you know, malicious code. And sandbox try to execute the malware in order to analyze the behavior. This is the explanation of what is darknet. Darknet is unassigned IP address space. For instance, you are belonging to the university or industry, and you have our IP address space in your company or enterprise. So, but you may have some kind of unused IP address space, but already registered in the IP space. So, in that case, such a kind of darknet IP address will never come the packet from outside because there is no user, unused IP address. However, using darknet, we got a lot of packets scanned. So you can imagine, in the case of left side, you can recognize LAN, local area network, and the bottom area is indicating the darknet sensor monitoring. And you can recognize the left side one small one sending ping. You may know ping, HMP echo, request, and send to including darknet. In the case of darknet, as you know, just observe the scan behavior, that's all. But in the case of live network, so make a response, and to take establish on TCP connection, and after that malware hacked, after that malware can be injected. So in the case of darknet, we try to prepare these kinds of the geographical traffic visualization technology. So we try to use a rocket that's sending from source address to the destination address, and using the different color to identify the type of protocol, UDP, TCP/SYN, TCP/NAC, etc. Maybe much easier for you to take a look directly. So this is our Atlas system. The Atlas system is conducted in the research activity under the NICT, and you can see this is the attack. This is real-time attack, and observed about 3 or 4 days ago. This is a real data. And in Japan or many other countries, we have 300,000 IP address, darknet IP address space. This is real time. We got a lot of TCP/SYN, and red one is UDP, etc. This is real. And if you go to in this case, we just received many packets coming from outside. But honestly speaking, we have many scans from Japan to Japan. So that is to say, the many packets not only outside, but we have a lot of scans from Japan. So this is a comparison between the United States and China in 2013. This a little bit long ago. So we got many scans from China in this case, in 2013, but many yellow rocket coming from United States. But you can recognize the yellow one is TCP/ACK. But our darknet never sent TCP requests, thing. So it's very strange to get the TCP/ACK, because this is the mechanism of backscatter. So bad guys rotated the left side attackers and send TCP/SYN just to target to the DDoS targeted server, which is one company. But most of the attacker, the host, may not be necessary to use a real source IP address. So in this case, many of the attackers try to spoof the source IP address. Spoof source address sometimes located inside our NICT darknet, which is a 300,000 darknet address. So we got just SYNAC, TCP/SYNAC. This is a yellow one. So, but this is recently. And we captured this our visualization as 1 week ago in 2017. But recently, most of the backscatter, which is DDoS targets, are located in China, not United States in this case. So very strange. But the trend of the DDoS is changing recently. So this is another visualization in order to understand the behavior of darknet monitoring. This is a 3D traffic visualization. Left side plane is source plane, and the vertical line is our source IP address, and horizontal line is source port address, port number. And right side plane is destination plane. Of course, vertical is IP address, and horizontal is port number. In the case of this is sorry. May not be interesting, but I try to capture 3D. But this is the left side frame is located at target DDoS server. So most of the recently, this is a real DDoS, but the target is located in China in this case. This is a host-based behavior analysis engine. Try to know each scan behavior in order to analyze the behavior, and try to capture the scan, the indicated flag of each country, which country come from the static scan. So as you can see, most of the scan is related to the red flag. I'm not so sure. I try to hesitate to say the country name, but including Japan, so many Asian country contains the scan source country. This is yearly statistical data of darknet traffic, and you can we try to summarize the statistical data up to 2016. We are not yet produced in 2017 last year data. But you can see the data number of packets for one IP address in darknet is very per year is very increasing. And last year, 469,000 packet for only one IP address, darknet. So recently, the kinds of the darknet traffic is getting increasing, but this is example. Port 445 TCP. You may know this is a Windows file sharing protocol port used to, and which is also used for the WannaCry ransomware. So in order to capture these kinds of the packet which are targeted to the port 445 by using the darknet, this is the data traffic, and you can recognize the up to May, this is 2017 last year, the port 445 is very low number. It was caused by Configure. Configure is the different malware for Windows. But after the May, first was 12. The number of the port 445 scan is getting increasing. You can recognize some initial symptom for the WannaCry attacking to the port 445, and the kind of the WannaCry pandemic is May 12, this last year, 2017. This is the screenshot WannaCry infected in English. But we got in Japan, we got these kinds of the screenshot in Japanese. So surprisingly, this WannaCry provide the 28 languages of, this is as you know, the ransomware, in order to crack the data, crack the money, Bitcoin money, to encrypt the data in your PC. So this is worldwide infection. So many countries are infected by WannaCry. And this is provided by Checkpoint. And smartphone, Apple Watch were also infected. So this kind of ransomware is currently connecting to the worm function, which is distributed worldwide. So this is very important statistical data and observed in the darknet. In 2016, more than 50 more than 64, and correctly speaking, percent of scan are targeted to port 23. It's very surprising. Port 23 is Telnet. So this is a fact. And previous port 445, or including the WannaCry, is number 3. And other port 53413 UDP or TCP 2323 are the second and fourth, which are also connecting to the IoT devices. I can explain IoT devices. Cyber attack in IoT devices on the rise. It's you can recognize many newspaper or article. Device attacked, and we implement honeypot. I will explain honeypot later. But more than 600,000 IP address space are maybe IP address are already infected by malware, and which include more than 500 device types. So you can see the picture back there. And this picture is not just like a sample. We collect the data and capture the right manufactured IoT devices and put the picture in this slide. This is the category of infected devices: a sovereign camera, IP camera, network devices, telephone, infrastructure including parking management system or control system, home and individual, which is maybe related to your environment, web camera, a video recorder, etc. And broadcasting and the other heating pump, etc. So there are many kinds of the IoT devices maybe are already infected by malware. As I said before, based on the statistical data on darknet, so port 23 is our dominant. What the root cause of the mass infection? It was Telnet. There are many Telnet border everywhere in the internet. Just this example. And with our default and weak identity password. In this case, the ID is root and password 1235. Sometimes very easy. Why IoT devices are infected by malware? This is a simple reason. Maybe you can imagine why. IoT devices are connecting 24 hours, 7 days online. There's no antivirus software, and they use weak and default login password. And IoT devices is open with the global IP address open to the internet. This may be the most of the reason why IoT devices are easily infected by malware. So how to monitor the attack? Passive monitoring. As I said before, the passive monitoring may consisting of darknet monitoring, honeypot. Darknet monitoring, it's no need for you to explain what is darknet monitoring. So this information is also interesting. So using the port 23 TCP and TCP 2222, 80, 8080, or 5358, etc. So this is the list of the port number which are related IoT devices, including port 2323. So in the case of darknet monitoring, where's the cursor? this is we captured this visualization about 4 days ago, and these are scanned maybe dominant in comparing the all scan behavior in the NICT darknet monitoring. So more than 50% of scans are related to IoT devices. It's very, very serious. So in the case of to monitor, observe the behavior in depth, the darknet monitoring is just try to get a packet in the initial packet. But in the case of honeypot, I try to communicate with the infected devices and IoT port. And IoT port, as I said before, is a kind of decoy or honeypot to emulate vulnerable IoT devices in order to capture the attack or malware. So in this case, after capturing malware, we observed and analyzed the malware in the sandbox. This is the system in the honeypot, IoT port, and the honeypot sandbox. This is system architecture of IoT port. The right side gray part is located in Yokohama National University. It's a core system. I try to emulate the IoT vulnerable host. But the left side, you can see the many sensor. It's a kind of proxy, and try to locate not only Japan but also Holland, Netherlands, and also in the Taiwan, for instance. So we implement these kinds of sensor in more 13 countries at this point in time. So if you are interested in our activity, please join us, and we can provide some kinds of response from the core system through proxy. And the data captured by our core system can be shared with the research country. This is observation result by the IoT port, honeypot. It's a bit old data, but the 150,000 IP address attempt to login, and 100,000 actually data sent malware binary. And interestingly, the binary with 11 different CPU architecture, so many CPU architecture. So this is rapid increase of access in our IoT using the IoT port, honeypot in late 2016. And in connection with the Milai malware, I will expand the IoT Milai malware later. And there are many new type of malware, IoT malware are coming in 2016. This is world widespread infection observed from 218 countries and region in honeypot. We got a lot of attempt login and our infection, especially from the Asian country. That may be not good, but we need to consider. This is also interesting one. The number of infected IoT devices by country. So maybe it's very small character, you cannot read, but just try to highlight. Number 1 is Vietnam, 2 China, 3rd Brazil. And through top 3 countries cover over 50%. It's very large. In addition to this, United States, maybe around 10th. And fortunately, there's no Japan. But according to our data or observation, Japan, the number of infected IoT devices is getting very increasing now. At this time, it's around 1,000, 2,000 in Japan. And you may know this is a kind of telnet-based malware infection process. The bad guy is located attacker, or IoT device is located left side, and black guy. First, they try to connect and make a dictionary attack using the ID and password. And after login and the customized environment, to redirect to malware download server in order to get malware. And after that, the C2 server, command control server, send some attack command, and the finally various attacks are conducted. As you know, C2 server is basically located outside, and not single C2 server. There are many C2 servers located all over the world in the case of the attacker. So easily to hide the attacking behavior or using the different C2 server. But most of the IoT devices infected by malware are trying to connect firstly C2 server in order to get command. So in the case of dictionary attack, this is the dictionary used in 2015. There are 6 types of the group, which is the ID and password group. But recently, the group is getting very, very increasing. That is to say, this is also increase of the targeted devices. The next one is malware downloaded. What kind of malware? Maybe you can guess. This is an example of malware binary downloaded. Maybe very small. I can enlarge this like this. Easy to identify the type of malware or binary. This is a set of binary of MIPS or MIPSEL, ARM, and PPC. There are several types of the binary are all downloaded and executed. This is the kind of set of binary. So this is an expression about the latest IoT malware, so-called Mirai. Mirai is in Japanese. The meaning is future. I don't know why the attacker used this the code name for the malware. But this Mirai are infected more than 500,000 IoT devices, and through telnet. And the characteristic is very, very simple. Scan to port 23 telnet and 2323 TCP. And using dictionary attack. And one is very interesting characteristic. In the case of Mirai, destination IP address is equivalent to TCP sequence number in the case of scan or attack behavior. And in the last port, the source code Mirai was uploaded to hack forums or Git heap in September 2016, 2016 by using the name Anna Senpai. So I thought Anna Senpai seems to be Japanese, so I thought, what is it? What is it? It's a kind of the digression, but what is Anna Senpai? Do you know what is Anna Senpai? Anna Senpai is Japanese animation and broadcasted from 2015, a little older animation, like this. Maybe you may know this kinds of anime. I'm sorry, this is not the content of Keynote, but very interesting. I made this kinds of presentation in the Japanese environment and asked the audience, do you know this kinds of animation? But yes? Oh, great. This is the first time for me to know. Which country do you come from? Oh, you're Japanese. Oh, great. So, so I thought this attack may be very, very otaku. This is otaku is a kind of comic factic. So you are very otaku, right? And future further information on Mirai. So this is conducting a DDoS attack, and the DDoS to the Akamai service infrastructure, DDoS or DYN, Netflix, Twitter, Amazon, and using the different types of the devices, printer, camera, router, digital video recorder, etc. And architecture used in CPU architecture, ARM, ARM7, MIPS, or PowerPC, etc. So this is the characteristic. And observing port 23, 2323 TCP, Mirai IoT malware, using our darknet. This is the data captured in the darknet. And the 1st August 2016, the kind of initial symptoms were recognized in the darknet. Not small, not big one, but after the September 13, that it's the data scan for the 2423 is increasing, very increasing. And together with port 2323 TCP. So because this kind of combination, port 23, 2323 are related to Mirai malware. So after that, there's a big DDoS attack to the Akamai infrastructure in September 20. This is the image of the DDoS attack using the IoT devices. In that case, in Mirai, the total volume of the traffic is over 620 gigabps. This type of the DDoS size is very, very large. It's very close to the terabyte BPS. So this is try to capture the darknet data by using the characteristic of Mirai. Destination IP address equal TCP sequence number. It's that data is very, very increasing after the September 2016. And this is country infected by Mirai from the source country, source IP address. The country are infected by Mirai after August. It's Vietnam, Brazil, Taiwan, Turkey, India. But before Mirai infected, China, Brazil, India, Vietnam, etc. So they're kind of different. But recently, the similar type of infection country with in 2016. In the case of port 7547 and TCP, this port is used for CPE. This is one management. As you know, CPE is consumer premise equipment. Try to control the consumer premises equipment from outside, from internet. So observe this the port, this 7547 TCP by using the darknet. So in this case, after November 26, or December, the port 274747 is dramatically increased. That is because as we try to capture the data, malware, the payload. So it's very specific, but this payload contains a command injection for IoT devices, to download a program of malware, Milai, in this case. This is information I got from the paper, and device targeted by Mirai botnet reported in November 29th in 2016. This vulnerability is located in the router of one vendor, provided one vendor. The port 7547 TCP was open and using the default identity password. So our process is getting the command from C2 server and get the various attacks. This is one example. This is a water torture attack, which is a denial of services, in this case, sending the many automatic generated domain name asking to the DNS. And DNS cache server doesn't have such a kind of domain name to ask the authorized server of DNS. So this is the kind of the DDoS attack targeted to the DNS environment. This is a propagation that's sending many scan, as you know. And this is a click fraud. So infected devices imitate the user click to advertising website as a kind of affiliate. And also steering credential from paper TV, particular set-top box are being targeted as just a dream box, etc. This is an additional monitoring scheme, not passive, but active monitoring. So that is to say, in the case of our passive monitoring, honeypot darknet, but in this case, a more deeper to try to get access using a TCP or telnet and web port 80. This is so-called active scan. So using the active scan, we got several web interfaces. So we got this kinds of the web interface asking us, please insert identity password. This is the device category using the active scan. More than 60 categories are observed. The first one is DVR, digital video recorder. Second one's router. Third one, IP camera. And category of infected devices. So there's some Japanese flag, and we recognize the router or network mobile storage or the sensor, solar energy systems, home automation gateways are infected. And surprisingly, you can recognize right side, 2 lines from the bottom. So medical device MRI also infected. This is in the case of China. So infected devices in Japan is increasing. So starting from mid 2016. This is their examples of PIF camera site from Russia in Second. So try to get some of the camera or easily accessible from the internet to get the camera image. In the case of Japan, it was number 3. We have a lot of camera easily peeping from outside. So this is a trial. We implement Honey IP camera at our university. So first, our idea, try to use our secretary room our secretary strongly make a negative response. So we decided just kind of the server, but put the username and password in the written form. Okay? Access to the Honeycomb, after 5 days we got access from Germany. And confirm the first ID and password in the camera image as a written form is used for accessing other services of Honeycomb. This means not only machine reading such a kinds of data, but the human may be watching. So after that, surprisingly, our Honeycomb was in Instacom. So our students was very, very surprising to see this image, but it's the kind of the behavior. And we have make a trial for cleaning up the IoT devices which are infected by malware. First one is to purchase the IoT devices known to have been compromised widely, including IP camera, router, etc. And in the normal process, we try to recode the file system and processes in order to compare with the infected behavior. And we have our already malware by capturing by the sandbox, honeypot, and the infect by real IoT malware and check the infection, whether it is RCT connection or not. And after that, after confirming the infection, we try to power off and reboot command by command or factory reset. And compare the status of the before infection. This is our trial. Result of cleaning up the trial, none of our tested malware sample makes a copy on the non-volatile memory, which is all the malware is in the cache, our cache. So all malware sample are very easily removed from the router, IP camera, or mobile trace, etc. Just simply rebooting, power off, and the factory reset. Possible reason is attacker do not worry about keeping the device infected. And most devices are 24 hours, 7 days operation, so it still keep infected. And we try to check this. This means how fast malware make reinfection after removal of malware. First, try to observe internet in the IoT communication from the internet. So completion of malware download is recognized as reinfection, and try to keep the record of the history of communication. This is a trial. Do you guess what the result? This is the data. The shortest period reinfection only 38 seconds. According to our static data, using the above table, less than 1 hour is average reinfection time after removal of malware. It's very, very surprising. So that is to say, if you try to power off or reboot IoT devices, and you get power on or booting the IoT devices, maybe after 1 hour, your IoT devices may be reinfected by malware. It's very, very serious. What can we learn from the telnet-based infection? It is technically easy to solve the problems of the individual devices or the devices you're in hand. Simply stop telnet at any time before in use. And if telnet is necessary in your case, then use better password. However, it is difficult to solve at mass. You may understand various manufacturers in IoT devices, installers, users, and different locations. It's very hard to trace the devices after sale, and too many of them, firmware update never really done. And we can provide an aggressive information sharing with the system like a census or Shodan. So situations might be very, very complicated, not easy to solve at mass. Summary, in the IoT case, various IoT devices are infected and joining botnet, causing the real-world problems like DDoS. It is too optimistic to expect the problem was to solve by solo effort of manufacturer has the problems already too big. This is very important. Need mechanism to find, detect, trace, notify, clean up, and keep patching on devices. That is to say, these kinds of security management process are maybe reconsidered. Monitoring IoT devices, analyze IoT behavior, implementation of IoT security control, and intelligence of IoT management, store knowledge, etc. It's a kind of the process model circulated. And especially in Japan, ongoing activity against the current IoT environment, which is a very serious problem. One activity is connecting to the government activity. And government in Japan survey IoT devices utilize an important facility. And second, and cooperating with the government, our ministry in Japan, we promote the standardization for ISO SC27, standardization of IoT security guideline, and develop the IoT security requirements, maybe connecting to the IoT certification, device certification. This is governmental survey on IoT devices utilize an important facility, and Ministry of Interference Communication, MIC Japan, is now conducting the survey in cooperation with ICT ISAC. ICT ISAC is our Information Sharing and Access Center in Japan, and the Yokohama National University, and try to researching the IoT devices using the important facility, and hearing the survey with the owner of IoT devices, manufacturers, or system integrator. And if any, the modification request for system integrator. As for the important facility, this is example, IoT monitoring dam, the water dam, IoT for wind farm, IoT solar power, IoT on the factory, water supply, and monitoring Balkana, etc. So there are this type of several application of our IoT devices in an important environment. And as a background, we have already known these kinds of our problem. IoT may be accessible from the global as a default, accessible to internet, accessible with a weekend authentication or without any authentication, reachable default and identity password. This is a typical network system configuration of important IoT devices and supported security problem. So, internet is located right side, and as a gateway, router is in the interfacing with internet, and backside and data logger in collecting data, and sequencer is a kind of PLC program controller, logic controller, and sensor and actuator are maybe located backside. And from internet, I try to use a web interface and use the management tool to access data logger, and also connect to the sequencer, provide a serial communication protocol. Also, from internet, it's accessible to the video camera. In our observation, malware are infected in the data logger and router. Of course, this configuration is just an example. In some cases, as you know, the data logger has a SIM to connect directly to internet without router. And this is our different story about the standardization. We recognize several important IoT environment, home energy management, home network, medical, healthcare, and agriculture factories, and ITS of vehicle communication, car communication, and ATM, etc., are connecting the cloud computing and connecting the back-end system. This is the basic architecture of the IoT environment. In the case of the standardization, this is the structure of standard. You may not be so interested about the standardization, but we focus on general security guideline of IoT devices and system, targeted to ISO JTC 27. This is current status. This is under the new work item proposal, which is a new project balloting. And title is very simple: Guideline for Security and Privacy in Internet, IoT of Things. Scope: document provide guideline on risk, principle control for security and privacy of IoT. This is the content. Maybe I try to skip, but expected next action for IoT device, IoT security. This is my view. But cybersecurity information captured by the IoT honeypot or analyzed by IoT sandbox should be correctly, appropriately shared with the stakeholder. This is the kind of strategy to know the current infection, security problem, IoT devices in Japan, strength and the capability of monitoring and analysis IoT devices. This is government MIC project. And this is another issue, the research and evaluate security control countermeasure for IoT environment, including IoT security, secure OTA standard of over-the-air software updating and firmware updating. This is a technical issue. The last one is standardization. So, do I have time? Okay, thank you. So a very short story about the proactive cyber security response against DDoS, utilizing darknet and honeypot. This is backscatter, as you know. In the large-scale information leakage, which was in 2012, before large-scale information leakage, the Anonymous is a kind of hacker group, so conducted a very large DDoS attack. This is observed in our darknet. Yellow one is backscatter, which is the target server is located in the United States, California, in Sony Enterprise, and Florida daughter company, or there's another daughter company, UK, also get our DDoS attack. So by using these kinds of the darknet monitoring, we can observe and we can make some initial alert. You're getting infected or attacked by some DDoS. So long-term observation starting from 2006, but the backscatter is getting very, very increasing. This is one our project, early detection of DDoS attacking. It's alerting. You may know DDoS attack. Both send a refractor. Refractor is a DNS or NTP, etc. A lot of security whose source IP address are spoofed to the target. Refractor reply the amplified response to the target, and communication band of target is flooded with the amplified attack. Just like a botnet sending many query to the refractor, and refractor send back the amplified response to the target, which is DDoS. But the refractor may be listed like this: NTP, DNS, SSDP, or QQTPB, or etc. So many are the system can be easily be a refractor because it make a query and get a response. So our approach, I'll try to implement the honeypot under this environment like this. So try to emulate refractor or DNS refractor, NTP refractor, etc. So this is our recollection of the malicious behavior. And using honeypot or darknet, we can observe this kinds of DDoS behavior. But in the middle, DDoS alert detected in the backbone and by ISP, Internet Service Provider. So we can detect maybe 6 days earlier in this case. This is the statistical data. Over 50% of malicious domains prepared for the DNS amplifier attack are collected by honeypot or darknet 2 days more before the actual attack. Maybe using this kinds of darknet or honeypot, maybe early alert mechanism can be utilized. So using the DDoS alert has two types of alert. One is start of DDoS, getting the start of the attack using the honeypot. And another one is end of DDoS. This is also important because informing such kinds of end of DDoS is very useful for the ISP or end user. So this is activity using DDoS alert in Japan, which is connecting the ISP or the community, so-called ISAC, and try to use this kinds of alert in order to promptly some kinds of response, so-called proactive response, in the case of DDoS. So future DDoS mitigation. So DDoS attack is one of the very serious threats recognized in many countries, not only Japan. But in the case of Japan, we are facing Tokyo Olympic 2020. DDoS is maybe very, very serious problem. And early detection of DDoS attack may be useful for the proactive response by utilizing the darknet and honeypot. But in the case of Tokyo Olympic Committee, the 2016, we send a lot to this committee, a website, which is detected by the honeypot, not located in Japan, but located in Germany, in this case. So existing DDoS countermeasure can be more effective to combine with the early detection technology based on the passive monitoring from the perspective of end user and ISP. As a conclusion, passive monitoring technology such as darknet, honeypot can be utilized for the passive proactive security response for the following perspectives. Darknet, initial scan attack behavior can be promptly observed to know attack symptom. The symptom can be effectively shared among the stakeholders for DDoS mitigation and IoT security. And another one is honeypot plus sandbox. Captured malware can be analyzed shortly to recognize malware behavior in infection method, promptly for preventing second infection, later infection, and mitigating its impact. So this is the last message. Since malware activity are often hidden from the existing countermeasure like IDS, firewall, IPS, etc. But using both darknet and honeypot as a passive monitoring might be a good solution to effectively strengthen the existing countermeasure. So, variety of IoT systems, including consumer devices, are expected to use in the Tokyo 2020, like this. However, for the smart and connected city environment, global, worldwide, passive monitoring infrastructure should be implemented, cooperating with worldwide. Because if we detect in Japan, we detect the IoT devices only inside Japan, it's almost mean nothing. Because the attack may come from not only from Japan, but from other country. So this kinds of cooperation might be very, very important for us. So thank you for your attention. Thank you very much for your attention.